3 exercises that you can do at home to target and strengthen your infraspinatus muscle, be it for injury prevention, injury recovery, or even for a general warm-up before your physical activities. So let's get to it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another video. All right, shoulder dysfunction. Boy, that's a pretty commonplace thing in a lot of individuals. There's certainly a lot to unpack with it, but today I thought I'd give you a good introduction of some home exercises that you can do if one of your 4 rotator cuff muscles, that one being the infraspinatus, needs to be targeted in order to get a little bit healthier and a little bit stronger. All right, and just to be clear, there are a lot of other great exercises and ways you can strengthen this muscle, be it with a dumbbell or TheraBand or resistance bands in general. I use all sorts of exercises and different pieces of equipment with my patients in the clinic in order to go after this muscle depending on what they need. But for this video, I'm just giving you 3 simple exercises that you can do at home. But if you do want other exercises that you can do with weights like dumbbells or resistance bands and TheraBands for this muscle, simply let me know in the comments section below. I certainly wanted to give you guys a lot more exercises for this video, but I thought that maybe it'd be best just to keep it really simple and straightforward for this video. All right, the infraspinatus, that's one muscle of the 4 muscles that comprise the rotator cuff complex, which is a group of muscles around the shoulder that aren't necessarily powerhouse muscles, but rather they're small muscles that work to fine-tune the movements of the shoulder as we take the shoulder from point A to point B. Now, the infraspinatus originates in the infraspinous fossa of the scapula, or what we call the shoulder blade. It inserts on the greater tubercle of the humerus, or the upper arm bone, and it's largely responsible for what we call external rotation, or rotating the arm outwards, as well as for horizontal abduction, or pulling the arm across the body in that direction. Now, as a pro tip, if you are wanting to do these exercises at home and you don't have a dedicated dumbbell or piece of fitness equipment to hold onto, don't worry, because with the rotator cuff muscles, they don't take much weight in order to tire them out or fatigue them, especially if they're already a bit unhealthy and you're trying to strengthen them. Usually an object that only weighs a couple of pounds will work just fine. And so there's a lot of things that you can hold on to at home in order to get the job done. So if you got dumbbells, great, but if not, just find something that weighs an appropriate amount that you can hold on to and you'll be good to go. But nonetheless, we're getting into the exercises right now. Here we go. So exercise number 1, we are going to do knee propped external rotations. Remember, external rotation just means you're rotating the arm in an outwards direction. And so for this exercise, you're just gonna bend your knee and then rest your arm on the knee, and then drop your arm down so everything's rotating around the tip of the elbow. And that's the critical piece of information for this exercise. By having everything rotate around the very tip of your elbow, you're gonna really confine the movement to the infraspinatus muscle and not a lot of other muscles in the process. So when you do this exercise and you're rotating the arm downwards, just make sure that the shoulder joint itself doesn't roll forwards or roll inwards on the movement, because then we're just bringing other muscles and movements into the equation, and that's not what we're after here. So rotate down as far as you can without that shoulder rolling, and then pull upwards, making sure everything spins around the tip of the elbow. As you do this, you'll likely feel a sense of effort around the general shoulder area, and that's what we're going for on this exercise. Now, exercise number 2, we are doing side lying external rotations. So again, we're rotating the arm bone outwards here, but by lying on our side, we are going to rotate against gravity, and that is really going to challenge the infraspinatus muscle with this movement. So lay down on your side and then make sure that your head and neck are in a comfortable position, either propping them up with your arm or a pillow or anything else of the like. Bend your elbow to 90 degrees and pin your arm down to the side of your body. From there, just like the first exercise, everything is working around the tip of the elbow in terms of the axis of rotation. Make sure that your shoulder blade is not moving forward or being pulled backwards on the movement, because we're trying to confine all the movement to the infraspinatus itself. Now, if you want, you can take a pillow or roll up a bath towel or a similar type of padded object, and you can tuck that between the side of your body and your upper arm bone. A lot of people do this because they find that it's either a bit more comfortable or it actually helps them to execute the movement a little bit more properly in terms of keeping the upper arm bone still and rotating everything around the tip of the elbow. So if you see some people doing it with or without something pinned between their arm and their side, don't worry about it. For this video, it's fine to do it either way. Just find out what works best for you. And for exercise number 3 here, we are going to do a table supported external rotation. And this time we're gonna have the arm bone out to the side. So this looks a lot like the very first 1 or 2 movements, but again, with the arm being a little bit more out to the side, we're theoretically just picking on the muscle in a slightly different manner. So for this exercise, you want your upper arm to be resting on a surface that's about the height of your shoulder. What works really good for a lot of people when doing this at home is to use the kitchen countertop with a chair right beside them. Now, place a pillow or another soft padded object on your upper arm bone so that it's a bit more comfortable when you are rotating your arm, and it will also help to give you a little bit more range of motion on the movement. And from there, you're just going to slowly rotate your arm up and back, again, spinning around the tip of the elbow. You'll find that's a common theme here with these exercises because that's how we make sure that we isolate the movement a little bit more to infraspinatus. And once you've rotated up as far as you can, just rotate back down in a slow and controlled manner and repeat the process. Now, if you're wondering why you can't just hold your arm out to the side and then rotate up and down, well, you certainly can, and you will get infraspinatus, but when you're actively holding your arm out in that position, you're engaging a lot of what we call the deltoid muscle, which is the big padded muscle on the upper arm that most people are familiar with. Now, the challenge here is that we might be more limited by the deltoid's endurance or the overall strength of the deltoid as opposed to the infraspinatus muscle. So if the deltoid muscle is getting more tired before the infraspinatus because it's having to hold the arm up while the movement is happening, well, then we just might be a little bit limited into how much work we actually get done for the infraspinatus. Now, with all three of these exercises, assuming we're trying to strengthen the muscle and even some of the mechanical properties of the tendon itself, we need to be doing each of these movements in a rather slow and controlled manner. The slower you go, the more unpleasant it can be in terms of fatigue and effort, but generally the more effective it is in terms of a strengthening component for the muscle. Now, if you have other questions or you have other exercises that you like, or you would like to learn other exercises, be it with dumbbells and weights or with resistance bands and TheraBands, simply leave it in the comment section below so that I know that you guys want some content on that, and I'll do my best to deliver. And hey, if you do like the content in this video, if you found it useful, helpful, or informative in any sort of way, feel free to hit the like button. That would mean a lot to me, and you're more than welcome to subscribe if you want to make sure that you're getting all the content that I'm putting out there. So everyone, keep looking after yourselves, keep looking after one another, keep making great things happen, and I will see you in the next video.